Let me tell you a story. Hello, and welcome to Creative Writing Corner. I am your host, author, creative writing coach, and not-so-secret member of the Illuminati, Luke J. Morris. Remember the secret to storytelling from episode 1? Let me give you a refresher. You set it up, you pay it off, and you add a dash of irony. I figured I would show that in action, using tropes familiar to contemporary readers. So I'm going to read you a little piece of flash fiction that I wrote. Now, as I read my little piece of flash, as it's called, see if you can spot the setup and the ironic payoff. It shouldn't be too hard. So without further ado, I bring to you Eternal Love by Luke J. Morris. Eternal Love. Once upon a time, there was a girl who fell in love. This is not unusual. Her lover died. The girl was heartbroken. This, sadly, is also not unusual. What is unusual is that her lover came back. He came back for her. Her lover had dark hair and dark eyes and pale skin, and he swore to her eternal love and fealty and devotion. She ran into his arms and melted against him with a sigh. He enfolded the girl in his cold embrace. The lover took the girl to his home, where she lay on the soft earth and closed her eyes and waited to become one with him. He leaned over her. Her heartbeat quickened. She held her breath, and she trembled. Sweat beaded on her brow. He was so close now. She licked her lips, her breasts heaving in anticipation. He cracked her skull open with a stone and ate what was inside. His appetite sated, the lover cleaned the blood and brain drippings from his mouth, kissed the girl's dead lips, and returned his attention to the hunt. The night was young. That was my foray into paranormal romance. Thank you very much. YA paranormal romance. I think I've got a career in that, for sure. So I assume you spotted the setup. My setup there. The death of the boyfriend, the trope of the romantic undead, the living lover's expectations, and then the payoff. Those expectations dashed. So I mixed the vampire and zombie tropes, but it helps to reinforce the theme. If something is undead, don't play with it. Notice the irony in this ending comes from the fact that we would traditionally expect an undead monster to do something just like this. But our changing view of ex-humans in fiction over the past 30 years has kind of warped our expectations of who they are and what they do, so the irony in this story is that it ends as it should end. We call this situational irony. Those of us who are English teachers or wannabe literary writers, even if we are writing in the genres as the lingo goes. I'll talk about literary versus genre later on. I need to stop digressing. Anyway, moving on. Situational irony is what happens in the play or the movie or the story or the comic or whatever story form we happen to be following is the opposite or significantly different than what the audience and sometimes the characters have been led to expect. So done well, this can be one of the most enthralling devices to use in your story. Done poorly, you get...
What? No!
Obviously, my tiny tale is missing plenty of things that we would want in an actual story. Most crucially, characterization is entirely absent. We have a random girl and a random vampire zombie thing and a love story that ends tragically. It's a true Romeo and Juliet tale. Shakespeare can suck it. But I need characterization to build a story. We'll talk about that. We'll solve that problem at another time. As if that problem could be solved. We'll do our best. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed Eternal Love. I thought it a fitting way to celebrate the Halloween season. Why not come up with your own setup and payoff that ironically undercuts a genre trope? It's a fun game to play. Go develop some eerie setups and unsettling payoffs. The underworld awaits. I've been Luke J. Morris. This has been Creative Writing Corner. And until next time, stay spooky, my friends.
Fellow writer, thanks for tuning in to Creative Writing Corner. I hope you got something valuable or at least ridiculous out of this episode. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more great writing tips and tricks, and if you have any writing questions, suggestions, or topics you'd like me to discuss, leave them in the comments below. Thanks again, my friend. Until next time, keep the words flowing.